On that note, ladies and gentlemen, we will now be quickly moving on to the next session. This is going to be another keynote on the topic of the new arms race, AI as a competitive moat in BFSI. I'll repeat the topic once again for you all. This is about the new arms race, AI as a competitive moat in BFSI. To do the honors, I would like to call upon stage Anuj Gupta, Principal Technology Architect, BCG. Can I have a big round of applause for Anuj ji over here as I welcome him on stage?
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Anuj Gupta. I'm Principal Technology Architect with BCG, and primarily I work in the BFSI space. Today, I'm going to tell you with my experiences with the work we do at BCG and beyond with large clients like yours in the space of implementing technology, primarily AI in the BFSI space. What we've seen so far, and I'll help you with the background of work that I've done, my experiences, is we've started with programming on 8085 microprocessors, microcontrollers. I myself am a computer science engineer, and I've started implementing technology right from chips. In the 90s, we started doing programming on low-level languages. Some of you might know, some of you might have managed systems, which worked on C, C++ for sure. During the 2000s, we were very happy with libraries, which meant pre-built code. And pre-built code means you can use it, you can trust it. Others have used it. And then there was a revolution of open source code as well, which gave you pre-tested, battle-tested code others use, and then you adopted. Programming became faster and productivity increased for the developers. Then came smart IDEs with autocomplete, autosuggest, and compilation of code became faster. If I take you back to the early days where I started programming in early 2000s, compilation would have taken hours, and smart IDEs, deployments on one click on the cloud, it made deployments, programming, build, deployment very easy. So the time to make a code change, give it to users like your teams to test became faster, easier for developers like us. And what we see now is, if you see the gradation of programming from low-level languages to a little higher-level language, now you can program using prompts. You must have tried or you must have seen some of the programmers. There are tools which are helping us build prototypes just using human natural language prompts. So this is the world in which we are living. With this context, we'll start with exploring what all is possible in our space. Some of us might be from the fintech space, many of us might be from the banking space, large insurance companies, general insurance, life insurance, many of us might have dealt with systems in that space. But I'll bring you back a little dated history, and this is just 2 generations. If you see the chart that I have from 1950s to 2025, it talks of the population growth from nearly 1 billion to 8 billion now. And just reflect on it, it's just been 2 generations, not more. And if you think of these 2 generations, the transition that they have gone through, all the revolutions that you've seen so far, including the AI revolution, which is not to be feared but embraced, all the revolutions have helped us do larger human good. The reason I say this is, that's the level of revolution we are seeing right now, and we have to be party, and we have to be embracing it with open arms. You see the green revolution over here? This is world statistics data. The green revolution helped us keep track or helped us keep pace with providing enough food for the people. Had it not been for a green revolution, mechanization of farming, we would not have been able to serve as many humans as on the planet. Then there were ages around white revolution. We have milk and milk products for all of us. We have the internet revolution helping us do what we are doing right now and beyond. At present, we are all witnessing the generation we are in, the AI revolution, and we have to make most of it. So with this background, I would like to open our minds to see what all can we do in various spaces, and then we will see how do we do it. I'm an architect, I build systems, I design systems, and I'll narrate from my experiences on some of the clients that I'm working on. What you will see as examples over here is what is the world trying? And when I say world, look at it from a teenager's lens. They've just started getting access to ChatGPT 4. If you hear what Sam is saying, there is ChatGPT 5 coming in, and he himself is surprised with what ChatGPT 5 can do. But sticking to what is available to us as users, think of this as your family, teenagers in your family exploring AI on ChatGPT or Gemini, or they might be using some other AI tools. If you have a medical report and if you want a second consultation or if you want to review it, you can ask, you can upload, you can get answers. Financial document analysis, there are many of us who have already tried or might have heard of people trying of how to use AI for financial document analysis. Crime tracking is a very unique way of using it. There are fraudsters who change their identity, which means you cannot track them by PAN number, you cannot track them by name. They've changed their identity. What they couldn't change is more or less the face they use for KYC. And CBI has been able to crack a few cases dated 8-9 years back in history, and they've moved states. But this was done by involving some bit of image processing on a large data set. And then in health insurance, some of us might not know our policy that well, but if you use some specialized agents or even bare minimum ChatGPT 4 or Gemini 2.5 Pro, you will get answers to what part of your medical bill can be claimed and what part will not go through the claim lens. The context I'm giving here is the teenager's lens that you can use it over ChatGPT, but now I'll go a little deeper. I'll go beyond this. I'd like to stress upon the use cases that we are seeing over here, the art of possible, what is possible for us to explore, and with clear examples of how I am seeing, how I am building it with some of our clients in these days, these weeks that I'm talking about. We already spoke of medical report interpretations. As a teenager, as a youngster, 25-year-old joining a job, they might use it as a second reference. But think of a health insurer. Today, there are a couple of team members in health insurance processing who actually see medical reports to either underwrite a policy or process a claim. Medical report interpretation is possible using AI, and I am working on designing systems where we'll be using API-based AI integration to interpret medical reports, mostly to get glucose levels, to get standard parameters from the report that are used for either underwriting or claims processing. You see code generation. I myself have tried developing code using Vercel and other tools. Customer onboarding prototypes, etc., which used to take weeks, now can be done in hours. You can iterate with your product teams. You can go to your chief business officer and show him 3 prototypes. You can go to your marketing lead and show her 5 prototypes of what the campaign would look like. Choose a prototype and start developing. That's the way we are doing point 2 already. In 3, you must have heard of legacy code fixes. There is dearth of talent, lesser and lesser talent available for legacy code. You might call it C++ or it could be COBOL as well for some of your systems. There are tools that if you index your code well, the tools can help you solve and debug and give you fixes for, obviously those fixes have to be reviewed, but those fixes can be available. That's point 3 over here. I'll take you to a little more breadth. If you hear legal document referencing and you think about your own domain, legal document referencing is quite possible. It's about interpretation of a 40-pager contract, or you might have a MSA, or it might be a negotiated rate card that you might have in history across your vendor partners, all of that. But in terms of infrastructure, if you want to see a credit appraisal report of a large infrastructure project and you have indexed them using a proper AI tool, your next evaluation of an infrastructure project can be benchmarked or baselined basis the use cases that I'm showing here. Point 5 is the world talks about historic scriptures, vernacular languages, interpretation of scriptures found in caves. That's also one of the use cases which ASI will use, Archaeological Survey of India. But for us, people in the room, we can use these to process police FIR analysis. If any one of us knows how a road accident claim is typically processed, what parameters are to be extracted from a police FIR, And keep it simple, even if it is a theft case for a vehicle or for some burglary case for a house, police FIRs generally are in vernacular languages. You can use the tool and not have translators, but use the tool to give you the right inputs that you need from the document. And this is trustworthy. We have to believe and then get our teams implementing them. Translation of books, I spoke of the population 1 billion to 8 billion. We have a lot of depth of knowledge in various languages. And that's the translation that is possible, that the world talks about. But for people in the room, we want to do a lot of investor education. For the insurance, it is insurance for all. For market investments, SEBI asks us to do investments in educating our investors. Tier 2 towns, Tier 3 towns, they might not understand all languages that we are publishing in. So this is for our marketing teams, for our investor education teams, where they can use the content that we ourselves have created. These are our IP that we can translate and then distribute for educating the masses. So overall, the theme that I'm bringing to you is, there is a lot possible. We have to come together to choose and then how to build it. So this was the what part of it, opening our minds to see what all is possible, the headlines that you read, how you can relate it to your domain. And many of these projects, as BCG or as an architect with BCG, I am implementing or designing for my clients. I'll show you some statistics now, which says how is the world moving from the what to the how. You see here, we are leading. It's a large sample here, 10,000 plus survey, inputs taken from survey. India is leading in terms of adoption by employee. This covers personal and professional use of AI, and we are leading in this space. We are also leading in space of cloud adoption in many ways, which means we are already having trust, and we've moved to cloud in many, many ways. So we have 4x data growth on cloud. And this combined together, when I say computational efficiency and data together, it makes more sense for AI to become useful for us. Now with that as a context, and if India is ready, as you see with numbers, and the next generation is expecting leaders like us to open up a few gates and implement technology for BFSI as well, the challenges that will typically come our way, and we are working with clients to solve them layer by layer. If you see the tip of the iceberg, you see challenges will appear in the form of algorithms, which are for the specialists to solve. And they are solving it their own way. Gemini is improving, ChatGPT is improving, and other AI LLMs are improving. The second part is for us to bridge, which is the technology integration with our systems, our use cases. The third one is the 10, 20, 70. 70 is a larger problem with processes that we have in our firms and with people. If they have lack of trust or if they have concerns around implementing AI, we'll have to cross that over, including processes, because processes also hinder implementation. Talking of algorithms, there are specialists who are solving. As I said, Gemini, Google is investing. There is Meta as a firm who's investing. There's Microsoft who's investing. They are doing their bit in getting the LLMs run faster and run on cheaper hardware so that it can be productionized by us. This layer of what is required is to be solved by larger firms, and they are doing their bit. They will come with cost models to make it more productionizable by us. In terms of technology, the way we will build systems is, we have to abstract the actual implementation behind APIs so that you can switch the models. The models will be switched for the reasons of comparing. When you typically compare model for accuracy, latency, and cost, you might have a better model in 3 months of time. So naturally, you have to abstract the model behind the APIs. That's what your architects should be ideally trying to do. Second one is, you should be trusting a CSP, a cloud service provider, or a network, the AI orchestration provider, to help you design systems with multi-model orchestration, and these models should be beyond what the provider is actually earning from. And the third one is, we have to build guardrails for review, where you have human in the loop for a certain time, and then gradually you have lesser human review depending on the size and scale. As leaders, we have implemented underwriting, we have implemented credit evaluation in the past. We have got from NSTP to STP in a certain gradient, gradual gradient, that's the way we'll implement this as well. So it's not different. Uh, if you draw comparisons, it can be done. It's for us to think in what ways do you want to bridge the gap. This is a typical schematic I have laid down to show you how gradually different sizes and different nature, firms will adopt AI with agents typically sitting out to start with, and these will be stateless agents. When I say stateless agents, they will not know your data, but they will have their own thinking and they will solve problems for you. Imagine your product brochures already on the internet. The agent already has read it because it has skimmed the internet, and your customers are asking product information for your own firm. Now that is public information, so this stateless model works pretty well. In the second case, I'm talking about where you have enough confidence to get the agent inside your organization. And once the agent is inside your organization, by agent I mean agentic AI is inside your organization, it can refer to the data, which is historic data, and that's the RAG model, which will help you do better with the bot or the AI tool. The third model is pretty interesting, where I talk of MCP. This is Model Context Protocol, where agents talk to each other. So the agents that are now inside the organization with your data knowledge, they will talk to external specialist agents. Now imagine when a health insurer wants to do a consultative lookup of whether a procedure done for a health treatment is required, is legitimately required, or it's a fraud. Doctors in-house can decide, or you can go to some other hospital networks, or you can go to a specialized agent built with certain hospitals. So these agents will be built with domain specialists. You will have Bosch as a firm implementing domain knowledge with some partner agent AI. Same way, you will have specialist hospitals doing medical information partnering with the AI bots that they train. Those are the specialist agents outside. And when we talk of MCP, this is currently being built. Very simple protocols right now, but they'll evolve, and the agents will start talking to each other. The agents can also they'll understand your policy in the organization, and they'll do ticket booking with different firms. They will understand your procurement requirements, and they will talk to Amazons of the world, obviously corporate Amazon, and they will then book orders for commodity buying or for stationary buying, if you take an example. So those are the simplified models in which we will progress from stateless to data-oriented to MCP. The real value lies in our own data. That's the reason I stress upon the point that you bring computational knowledge and then you bring data. Data is where you build your moat. So as a business, what others don't have, what Microsoft, what Google, what Meta, what OpenAI does not have, is the domain knowledge that we have as organizations and the historic data that we have. All of that put together for our benefit is the moat we create. And that's the reason the second and the third become even more important. Coming to how do we solve for people, org, and processes, in the future, agents can be used to ramp up and ramp down. There are seasonal demands, there are seasonal spikes in our business where we will need augmented workforce. Same way, agents can be ramped up and ramped down. Agents have to be taught, and in weeks, they can ramp up on your knowledge repository, which is your historic cases. Give them, how did you do credit underwriting for last 6 months for your cases? Give them that data, the agent will understand what the model is, and it can do next 6 months for you. Agents as a service, this will be the specialist agentic services that will be provided by partnerships across technology firms as well as the domain specialist firms. For example, Bosch. If you ask them to assess some photos of a plant, Bosch will have trained agents and they will provide you this as a specialized agentic service. I'm just taking a few examples here as company names just to give you a direction that this can be implemented with specialization. The third one is what will our organization do? Model builders will remain niche, which is with the large firms. Agent trainers and orchestrators will be the developers. We typically will not have to write absolutely last line of code. It might be assisted coding. That's the devs that we will do. And application integrators, where architects and application managers will play a very important role. So that's the role of the future, and that's the teaming that we should be looking for. This is a dense page, but what I want to bring to your attention is that there is a gradient to follow from standardizing our processes, making things available, giving them access to stateless AI models, to moving ahead and giving and keeping in place some team metric, some incentives so that our own teams can experiment and then start coming up with use cases that are relevant for our implementation. So we spoke of the what, we spoke of the how. In the how, I've not gone as deep. I mean, there could be more nuances to how to solve problems. But all in all, as leaders, we have to build with responsibility. These are the places where there are concerns as well, but whenever we implement, we have to build with responsibility. That's the reason we started with stateless and then giving data to AI and then letting agents talk to each other. We always have to review before trusting it. So that's the human in the loop I spoke about. Our collective responsibility in this room is to understand the risks, and hence we have to work on training the models to screen out biases. There can be review agents, there can be human reviews, etc. We'll also have to help our own workforce transition to jobs they can do, transition to the work they can do. We've seen this in the past. There is nothing to fear. Even with mechanization of farming, it's not that farmers are out of business. They're just doing more and helping us get our own bread. And the last one is domain leaders will create specialist agents. So if you think your firm is specialist in underwriting, if you think your firm is specialist in credit evaluation, if you think your firm is specialist in customer servicing, try to partner with AI models where you train them and you partner with them with domain knowledge. And the last one is, soon you will see independent audits of AI agents where you will not trust the agent provider, but you will trust the audit report saying this agent is not biased, this agent works as expected, and this is the cost, scalability, latency and accuracy ratios of that agent. The cost will obviously be a private contract, but latency and accuracy can be known from independent audit reports. So I leave the room with this information that I had to share today, from the what to the how, and all of us have to build with responsibility. Thank you. Thank you all.
Be a lot more. Thank you so much. And I'll request you to please kindly wait. I'll request Bhaivavji once again to please kindly come up on stage and give the token of appreciation to Anuj sir over here. And once again, a big, big, big round of applause for Anujji over here. Please, thank you so much, sir, for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us over here. Like I truly believe when photos are being taken, if we